I platinumed Far Cry 3 and it was LINSANITY. If you're new here, I'm on a mission to platinum every Far Cry game before 200 subscribers on YouTube, or else I have to eat a whole box of Bean Boozled beans at once. So subscribe if you want to see me suffer. Far Cry 3 takes place on an island where you get away with your friends on vacation. You play as Jason, and at the start, you see all your friends having the time of their lives. Then you come back to reality where the whole world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Jason and his brother Brody are being held captive by Vaas. Vaas is a nut job, and would be a good actor for Joker if you ask me. Brody, being from the military, gets us out of our little cage and we start to sneak our way out of the camp. We make it all the way to the end before Vaas catches us and gives Brody a new haircut. Vaas then lets us run away thinking he'll catch us. Little did he know we're the main character. We run dodging bullet after bullet until eventually reaching a bridge which breaks and makes us fall down. Instead of CTE, we get a trophy. Upon waking up, we see this darker fellow giving us a tattoo. He introduces himself as Dennis. Dennis is a part of the Katao, a group on the island trying to take down Vaas and his men. Dennis has us go around the island doing like a tutorial. We fixed the power to a comms tower, went hunting, and took over one of many outposts we'll face later on. At this outpost, we completed it without having any alarms go off, popping a trophy. Dennis then tells us there's a doctor we may know where one of our friends are. We head up there and the stoner of a doctor wants us to get him some of that good kush before showing us our friend. We reluctantly agree, and after bringing him that good, he tells us the way to Daisy. Meeting Daisy and completing the mission gives us the second story-related trophy. Only seconds later, I got another trophy for adding to my sleeve. Of course though, without any clouds. The next mission is to steal Vaas's intel from this abandoned ship. The whole point of the mission is to be stealthy and take out the men that have intel. Me being me decided to struggle on this for way too long. Being quiet is not my strong suit. Eventually I got all the intel, then the ops rolled up. I ain't no bitch though, so I gunned down every last one of them. I came back and gave Dennis a rundown of all the intel I found. Afterwards, I headed over to another outpost, and after taking over it, I got a trophy for liberating 3 total. The next trophy came not too long later, and was for killing a predator. Not Vitaly style though. Gideon, I'm ready. Dennis then gives us a location of where Vaas should be staying. Upon entering, we go through room after room, showing a video of our girlfriend Lisa being held captive. We thought she was here, but apparently Vaas is playing chess while we're still playing checkers. Because in the next room we got socked. When we wake up, there he is, Vaas himself. Not only Vaas, but Lisa as well. And our other friend, but you'll see why in a second, it doesn't matter. Vaas then goes to verbally assault us and possibly sexually too. Vaas is strange. But to end off his heroic speech, he sets the whole room on fire. Luckily, we are the main character, like I said, and we break out of the seat by falling through the floor. Lisa's still up there and we want some cooch, so we run all the way back up to rescue her. With the whole place filling with flames, there's only one way to go. Jump out the window. After falling a good 2 stories and coming out with nothing but maybe a bruise, we hop in the car and let the woman drive. That was our first mistake. But while she's driving, we're gunning down all the ops from the back. She drives crazy, but ultimately gets away from the bad guys. After telling her to pipe down, and trophy pops. We go tell Dennis what happened, and he's so glad we're alive. Not really. He more said, oh shit, for real? You know, like all those people do.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Anywho, he takes us to the tribe's temple, where not many ever go. Of course, the baddie, I meant the leader, Citra, has her worries. She has us take hella drugs, and after going through a whole trip, she tells us we need to find what is lost. Before we get to all that, we get a trophy first. Going back to what was in the trip, there's this mysterious man. Dennis told us his location, and we tracked him down. After stalking him, we snuck into his house, only for him to pull Uno reverse and let us know that he saw us. After folding under no pressure, he realizes that we aren't the problem, and that we are fighting for the same thing. We make a deal, and then we start doing missions for him. The first being to destroy the quote-unquote special fields. Not Vaas's though. Instead, the fields belong to a bigger fish named Hoyt. We'll get to that soon. Before going much further, I hit up my 8th comms tower, which gave me a trophy. We then arrive at the fields and turn up. After burning the quote-unquote special fields down, we end the mission by blowing up a ship that tried to leave. Going back to our new friend, he shows us who this Hoyt guy is. Let's just say Vaas is little bro to him. Hoyt has one of our friends named Oliver though, so we gotta make him pay. Our spy friend, whose name is Willis by the way, tells us that Hoyt will be arriving in a helicopter, and to get to Oliver, we first need to get Willis's friend Rongo. Once we arrive at the landing zone, we peek from afar, moving like Prime Herbert from Family Guy. While stalking, I end up tagging 25 enemies with the camera and got a trophy. Once Hoyt leaves, we make our move. We go down and untie Rongo and tell him that Willis sent us. We then team up and take down this camp. While he searches the houses for these super secret files, we shoot all the enemies who try to make a move. After fighting them, I started to make my way to the next mission, but along the way I got a trophy for unlocking 50 entries in the survivor guide, whatever the hell that means. To save Oliver, we have to intercept the convoy which he's being carried in. We get to a vantage point with a sniper, and just like Prime Adapt, gun him all down. down. While doing so, Oliver makes his way to the boat to escape. He drives it over to us and we jump on, shooting all the other boats trailing us. When we get away, a trophy pops for saving our stoner of a friend. Do you still remember that trip we had earlier? Well, Willis wasn't the only strange thing in there. There's also this blade, and spoiler alert, the blade is what Citra was telling us to bring back to her to be let in. And it just so happens that this guy named Buck was also looking for it. Coincidentally, he also had our friend Keith held captive. Coincidence? I don't think so. After finding him, he sends us on a mission after mission, retrieving pieces of a compass to then unlock the tome area which the blade is kept. At one of the locations, I got a trophy for blowing 4 men at once. Blowing up, let me clear the air up right there. I got a trophy for blowing up 4 men at once. Anyways. At one of the later locations, I also got a weapons trophy for killing someone while jumping off a zipline. Finally, after completing mission after mission, we get the blade and go give it to Buck. Buck then shows us where Keith was being held. Buck then locks us down in his basement with Keith and tells us that we're a bitch and he's gonna kill us both now. Just like Vaas, he forgot one key detail. We're the main character. So we made easy work of him and rescued Keith. When we drop Keith back off, Lisa tells us how we're not the same and blah blah blah, we're changing. Anyways, we put her in her place and walk off. Instead of getting head or cooch, we get one better, a trophy. We then go back to the temple and give Citra the blade. She sees that we're humble, rich, and 6'4" and lets us into her tribe. We then get sent on a mission to save captive tribe members being transported by Vaas. After tracking down the car with them in it, we get a warm surprise from Vaas. He knocks us out and has us tied to a brick over a cliff of water. After his speech, he kicked us off, but we escaped. How? I have no clue. We ran back to a chopper which was going to be our way out. When we got there, they shot it down, having us crash like Kobe. RIP the Black Mamba. Vaas then finally kills us the same way he killed Brody at the beginning, by shooting us. The end. Just kidding. We climb our way out of many bodies, and there's Dennis waiting for us. He gives this whole spiel on how we survive because we have the tribe power within us. Yeah, whatever. But once he was done talking, I had to go retrieve my guns from an enemy camp not too far away. Once I got them, I also got a trophy for escaping Vaas again. We go back to Citra next, and she gives us another perk again. We trip out and fight the same girl from Moana. But this ain't no Disney movie, so I killed her, and let's just say Citra was a little too happy. After Citra tried to seduce us, we headed over to where we knew Vaas was going to be. After killing all his men and going to his hidey hole, we start tweaking again, and are fighting Vaas in the Shadow Realm. We then give him the 1-2 Kung Fu special and murk him, giving us a trophy. We then wake up next to Citra after defeating Vaas, and they're all hyped that I did it. How I did it, I still have no clue to this day after writing the script for this video. It was a trip for Jason and a trip for me IRL apparently. We move on though, and we start to go after Hoyt. He's on another part of the island, and the only way over there right now is via plane. So we met up with Willis, and of course the plane just had to be bugging. While he repaired it, I kept him safe. Once it was ready to go, we flew away. When over the island, I said hasta la vista, and we jumped out the plane getting a trophy while falling to our deaths. Once we land on the island, we meet up with a man named Sam. He wants to take down Hoyt just as much as we do, so we team up and follow his lead. The first step is to sneak into Hoyt's militia. This is easier said than done, but eventually we find a way. Once in, we act innocent so we can gain the trust of Hoyt. Hoyt then has us go down to interrogate a prisoner. The prisoner being our friend Riley. We cut the cams for a bit and tell him what's going on. Riley understands and let us beat his meat. Hoyt then walks in when we're done, congratulating us with claps and a trophy. Now that we're in Hoyt's inner circle, we have to make our move soon. He invites Jason and Sam to a poker game. At the poker game, he kills Sam and tells us that we never fooled him. We then trip out again and kill him in the Shadow Realm. Killing Hoyt popped a second to last story related trophy. This last trophy is the ending trophy. I'll not go into any details because of spoiler reasons and the fact that you should play this game if you haven't already. It came out 13 years ago. But here's the trophy. Now in the post game, it's time to do a bunch of miscellaneous trophies. Like doing a Path of the Hunter quest, which also popped a trophy for killing and skinning a rare animal, doing a Wanted Dead quest, falling for more than 100 meters and living, finding this head in the sand, don't ask any questions, completing a supply drop quest, crafting 5 upgrades for my equipment, also crafting 25 needles used for questionable things, buying all the attachments and skins for a gun. Let's slow it down, too much dopamine at one time. The next trophy came after killing someone with a repair tool. This weapon is low-key fire, no pun intended, and it wasn't hard to do at all. I then was just buying some stuff from the shop and got a trophy for spending a total of $5,000. And I know all the trophies have been very rapid, but that's just how rapid they came, honestly. And for the final miscellaneous trophy, for this whole dopamine rush, I got one for killing someone 70 plus meters away with a bow. Now that I'm done with the majority of the miscellaneous trophies, it's time to do some collectibles. The first set was for getting every lost letter for a trophy. This is one of 3 sets that I'll have to get. These lost letters were a part of like World War II, World War I, and I don't know. I didn't really read into them. I just went ahead and picked them up. Now this next trophy, let me tell you, it is one of my favorites. Every game should have this exact trophy. Take a guess down below what you think it's about. The next trophy was for winning $1,500 while playing poker. A true masterclass of a trophy. I also got 2 weapon trophies not too long after for distracting 25 enemies with rocks and killing 50 enemies with a flamethrower. I then finally liberated all the outposts for a trophy. This wasn't horrible, but definitely took some time. Next, Next was to do another set of collectibles, which were memory cards. It was super easy and all I had to do was teleport to each outpost that had them in it. What wasn't so easy was getting 60 total relics. Yes, these take a while, but what killed me was the fact that I was at 50 out of 60 before logging off for the day, just to log on the next day having them all wiped because I didn't save. I may not have it on video, but just know it was very tragic. I do, however, have my 60th relic on video, so here's the trophy. Now that I have all those out the way, I'm able to complete the last miscellaneous trophy by crafting a special syringe. And finally, getting all the tattoos needed for every skill pops the platinum trophy. That was Far Cry 3. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. And if you want me to change something for next video, editing / voiceover wise, let me know down below. I'm just learning. That's all, folks. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.